Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. This is something you guys have been asking me to do for a long time. Some of you have already taken my tarot course. Some of you haven't taken my tarot course, but I have noticed a lot of these questions. I'm going to go over 5 specific questions that you guys have been asking me. If you have questions tonight, please put them in the chat. I will be and my team and I will be working through that and getting you answers, okay, to the questions you have, and try to make them, questions that other people might have interest in too. If you have something that you have been trying to learn in terms of tarot, this is the time. It is right now. We are going for it, okay? So I'm going to start tonight's little conversation here by saying to you that one of the most commonly asked questions I get is, what spread do I use? Okay, so I want to give you my daily spread. This is the spread I use every day for myself. You see it in my readings. I use it a lot of time just personally when I talk to people and I'm looking for information about a specific situation. This is the spread I go to. There are literally thousands and thousands of spreads in the world. And in my certification class, we're going to be talking about making up your own spreads and all of that kind of stuff. But tonight, I want to give you a spread that is a go-to spread. It is not a topic-specific spread. It is much more about like, okay, past, present, future, them, me, and us. However you intend to use this spread, I want to say that to you, that this is your power. You have power when you look at a spread, especially like the daily spread that I'm going to give you all. We're going to give you a link so you can download this spread. And I cannot say enough, like the power of intentionality when you start to do readings for yourself or for other people. Sitting down, getting yourself grounded and having an intention for the reading. So if I'm going to use that spread that I'm offering to you, it's the 3, 3, and 3 spread that you see me using every day. And my intention sometimes is time. How is this situation playing out? Past, present, future. But I'm coming into the reading with that intention. Sometimes I want to see them, me, and us. And so that's my intention. When I'm shuffling and I'm throwing the spread down, I'm like, okay, that's them, that's me, and that's us. So what I want to, the reason why I'm so strict about using tarot spreads is if you just grab a deck and start throwing down cards, what's going to happen is you're going to question, well, now that could be them, or it could be me, or I'm not sure, right? When you get to that place, then the reading isn't doing you any good. Okay? So be intentional about the spread. Use a spread that has specific meaning to it. Like I said, there are thousands of spreads in the world. Some of them are specific. For my twin flame readings, I do divine feminine, divine masculine, and the energy of the connection. And that's always like that. And so when I do the spread, it takes away a lot of the, especially if you're new to reading tarot, it takes away at least one piece of it that says, I don't really trust myself. I don't know if this is meaning them or this is meaning me. If you use a spread, you stick to that convention. Them, me, us. You stick to that convention and trust it. Trust it. So I'm going to say to you, I'm giving you that spread as a downloadable. I want you to use it and use it consistently. Use it with intention. When you ask about a specific situation, try to be as specific as you can. Okay? And just try to use that spread and it will give you some really good insights. Okay? So you have my daily spread, and that's my little soapbox thing about using spreads. And if you start just throwing down cards, you're going to just twist yourself around and confuse yourself, and you're not going to get the information that you're looking for. Okay, it's just simple as that. The second thing I want to talk to you about, the other question, second question that I get a lot of is about how do I tell time in a spread? How do I know if this is happening quickly or if this is going to be dragged out? How do I know? So a couple things. First of all, when I lay down my spread, I'm going to show you on this little visual here. Push you away a little bit. When I throw down my spread, let's pretend I already shuffled and everything. When I throw down my spread and I do, all right, so let me try to do this a little bit. There you go. Can you see everything here? All right, so move this back a little bit so you can really just see on my table here the spread. Now, let's pretend that I have shuffled. Okay, let's pretend that I have shuffled. And I'm going to lay out this spread. 3, right? 3, 3, and 3. Okay, so we're laying this out, card on the bottom, which I always talk about, right? So when I look at a spread like this, a couple things. First of all, my deal with my deck, and this is a part of being intentional about things, is that the middle card, the 5th card in my spreads, is always my timing card. So when I look at this, it's the High Priestess here. And so in terms of timing, I go, well, it's a secret. It's something that, still needs to be a lot more information kind of delivered before I can figure out when this is going to be happening. There needs to be more conversation, something along those lines. So when I see a card like that in the middle here, I'm like, oh, the timeline is not necessarily known. If I see something like this, 3 of Wands is kind of a fast moving energy. 3 weeks. All right. That's where I'm at. 3 of Cups is 3 months. Okay. 3 of Pentacles, 3 years. 3 of Swords, 3 days. Swords are fast. So right now I'm seeing a major arcana card in the middle here. And so that's one way of looking at it, is choose a card that's going to be the timing spot in your readings. Okay. The second thing I look at is, does this feel like it's moving? Does this feel like there's energy here? Does it feel stuck? Does it feel fast? Does it feel whatever? And I look and I go, okay, there's a lot of like kind of stopped energies here, except for Tower. That's the only one. So it might be that the energy of this reading is, hey, we're standing still until something comes along and bam, until something happens that shakes everything up. This looks a little bit stuck to me. We definitely have the 5 of Cups here and the Hanged Man. That's a little bit stuck. The 3 of Wands is waiting. There's a lot of waiting energy here. So when I see the Tower and I'm thinking about timing, I'm thinking things are stuck until they're not. The timing comes through of this kind of energetic looking overall at the reading. And then I go, the Tower's here. Okay, that tells me that my assessment that this is kind of stuck is correct. Towers happen when stuff is stuck. So whenever I see a Tower in the reading, I always think this is happening unexpectedly or it's happening right now. The next way you can tell time in a spread is you can say what's happening in the next week. Okay? You can give it a time frame, and that's your timing. So even if you see stuff is stuck or moving fast, there's some cards in the deck that are quite fast moving, and the Chariot is one of them, the 8 of Wands. There's movement to them, and so I want to show you that because sometimes you can get a sense of the energy of the overall reading if a lot of the cards are in that place. This is very fast energy, the 8 of Wands, right? That's very fast energy. The Knights, okay? The Knight of Wands is fast energy. King of Wands, these are movement cards. And if you're really trying to assess this, when is this might happen, this is wicked fast. And there's a lot of those movement cards in the deck, in the spread, that you can kind of be like, well, okay, I know that the timing here is the high priestess, and there's still a lot of stuff that needs to show up. That's the high priestess energy, is like there's still more things to be revealed. And then you see the tower, you're like, okay, as soon as that's revealed, we're off to the races. So these are ways to tell time in the spread. So be intentional, choose a card or choose the position in the spread as the one that's the timing. Look at the overall energy, what comes through as a specific kind of fast moving energy, like that's going to happen now. Tower to me means happening right now. There are some cards in the deck that, I said this is about 3 months, right? The Three of Cups and everything. It's actually, another way of looking at the Three of Cups is on the next holiday. When I see the Three of Cups, it doesn't have to necessarily be in this middle place to be a timing card, because look at the Tower is here, and that's just showing me that like things are going to get moving very quickly once the information is revealed, whatever that is. Once the secret is revealed, bam, off to the races. When the Three of Cups shows up, it's kind of like giving me a sense of on the next holiday, because this is definitely a celebration kind of card at a party. Okay, things like that. That is a timing card. The other one that comes up a lot that you guys get really pissed about is the Wheel of Fortune, which is basically it's destined, it's fated, it's divine timing. And when I say divine timing, I can audibly hear you all going, "Ugh, I hate divine timing." But that, again, like this high priestess is like, there's something else that needs to happen or to be revealed or to be activated in order for this situation to come to fruition. And so if you can get used to being a little bit more accepting of the idea that the tarot is really here to help you understand the energy of a situation much more than it is to pinpoint dates or anything like that. That's not really what the tarot is here to do. It's here to help you understand the energy of a situation. So if you look at this and you're like, it's all stuck, all the energy's stuck, I don't like that. The next thing you should be asking is, what, if anything, can I do? How can I affect this situation to move it along? Okay, how can I do that? King of Wands. You can put your shoulder into it. You can get clear on things. You can take action. Fire energy. You can get excited about something. You can start asking questions so that you get more information. High Priestess. Okay, so if you don't like a spread, if you do this daily spread and you don't like it, you can ask, what can I do? What, if anything, can I do to move things along, to get to this tower moment, to get to union, to get to the place where I'm making this kind of money? What can I do? Because this is really all about you and your energy and applying that energy. Three of Swords. I can look realistically at my own pain. I can see where I'm like shying away from this situation because I'm not happy with it. I can, maybe I've been hiding about my pain. Maybe I haven't been sharing it. Maybe I've been hiding it from myself. Okay. And these are parts of the reading that are known as clarifiers. But especially with timing, we want to know how we can impact things versus, hey, it's going to be happening to me. This is much more empowering way of reading tarot, is that how do I know or what can I do to affect this? And that's going to give you much more power. So when you're looking at timing, look at how things are moving. Does it seem stuck? Look at the card, whatever card you have decided. Just be consistent with it. Every single spread I do, this spread, a different spread, the fifth card for me is the timing card. Okay? And some other spreads have particular cards in them that are timing related. In the Celtic Cross, card number 9, I think it is immediate future. And card number 10, card number 6, over here, I'm thinking in this in my head here is a little bit further out, like this is immediate future. This is like the future, but it's not the immediate future. It's not within days or weeks. This is more like bigger picture future. Okay. So you can have spreads that have specific timing places in them. All right. So that's a good question. You guys have asked me a lot. So I'm going to move on to how do I know who is who in a tarot reading? That's another question you guys ask me all the time. How do I know who is who? So if we're looking at this spread, I'll just keep using this spread here, right? I'll keep using this. And how do I know who's who? So first of all, intentionality is a big thing. If I have said, this is me, this is you, and this is us, then I'm looking at myself going, okay, this is me. The three of wands, 7 of swords, and 3 of cups. I'm trying to get out of something. Okay. I'm trying to get out of something. Maybe it's a third party situation. There's 2 3s around a 7 of swords. Yikes. That looks like that to me. Now, this other person, this is you're making the intention that this middle row is another person. So you're looking and going, okay, well, they could be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. They could have some water energy, like she is ruled by the moon there, Cancerian energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. You can see that as another person. All right. And so you can make the intention that certain parts of the spread are dedicated to this is another person. That's kind of the easiest way for me. Like if you are using a different kind of spread, if you're not using this 3, 3, and 3 spread that I use every day, and you're using a Celtic cross or you're using something else. And, I had a reading one time when I think almost every single position in the spread was a person card, right? Was like a king or a queen or a knight or something like that. Pages aren't necessarily people. They can be children. They can also be energies or messages. But kings and queens are people, okay, are usually people. It can be how you are projecting yourself in the situation or how somebody else is. But when you get a reading that's all kings and queens, I had that before, and I was just like, oh. So what was my question? Well, I was talking about the relationship between 2 people. So you can basically intuit, okay, I'm seeing myself in here. I'm seeing this other person in here. And if you see a lot of people in a reading, you can ask. You can do a yes or no. You can be like, okay, is this King of Wands? Is this King of Wands me? And my deal with my tarot deck is, if I'm asking a yes or no question, I pull a major arcana card for a yes, and anything else is a no. So is this card me? Nope, not me. Doesn't matter what this card is. It's just not a major arcana card. So this is saying to me, nope, that's not me. That's somebody else in the reading. All right, that's somebody else. Is it the other person that I'm talking about? Nope, it's not. This is a third party. Okay, and then that makes more sense, right? The 3 of Cups makes more sense. It is a third party person. And it's somebody I'm worried about, right? I'm deciding to be worried about this, or I'm having a hard time making a decision because maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure that there's another person, or maybe I kind of think there is. All right. Death. And then I'm getting yes. So I'm getting a yes on that. I'm getting definitely. There's a lot going on here. And you're going to learn about this third party. I mean, I'm kind of doing the reading here for you, but I'm going to get an awareness that, hey, I've been worried. There is another person involved here. Okay. And then bam, that's what this is. The secret is out. The secret is coming out. There is another person here. And so what is going on is I might be getting a sense of like, oh, I'm really sad about that because the message is getting through to me. And so now I'm looking at this person or this situation from a new perspective. I don't know that I want to continue on with this. I didn't realize that there was another third party person, but now I understand it because I've asked the question. Who is this? Why did that King of Wands show up? Oh, guess what? It's not me. It's not them. It's a third party. Yes, that's correct. It's a third party, right? Because that's the major arcana card. So That's a really good way of working with a spread, and especially if you're trying to determine who's who. All right, who's who in a tarot reading. Some of you have asked me how I pick decks, and I will say to you, and some of you know this, I'm not a huge fan of like dark energy decks or anything like that. I'm just not a huge fan of that. It's just not me. And so I pick, and I think, other tarot readers may be different and whatever. I'm just telling you my own opinion here, obviously. I pick what I like. I pick what speaks to me, and I think a lot of you do too. I love the art on some of these decks, the richness of it. This is one of my favorite decks. So this is the Radiant Wise Spirit deck, and I really love the images on here. Very traditional, but there's something about the richness of the colors is radiant. So these are very much like Ritter-Waite images, but they don't have like the border, right? It's like a bleed off. I love the richness of the colors that they use. So that's the reason I have like 4 of those decks of the same deck. This is Barbara Moore's deck, Tarot Made Easy. Same kind of reason for me. I like the richness. I don't like the white around them. I mean, that's just silly, my own preference. This is the Fenestra deck. I like this too. This strikes me as just a beautiful deck. I like the artwork, and that's, when you're doing this kind of work, this kind of intuitive work, you are keying in on symbols. You're keying in on imagery. So some of the decks that have never worked for me are the decks that just have like 4 of Wands. There's just 4 sticks. And 3 of Wands looks kind of just like 4 of Wands, and 7 of Wands looks kind of just like 4 of Wands, because I am visual and I'm an auditory. So I hear the messages that are coming through, but it's the visuals that really kick them off. So if you don't respond to the visuals, just pass by. Okay, just pass by. This is my tarot deck, the Souls on Fire deck that we created with Juliet Gilden, who's a wonderful artist. And I love her way of doing human. I love her way of it. And it's also, to me, very whimsical. And what made sense to me is I was doing this deck based on inner child healing, and also messages that were coming from the inner child or coming from our subconscious or things like that. And these just really appealed to me, especially as it relates to inner child work. Okay, especially as it relates to different ways of looking at these topics that are about healing. I was really focused on healing when I was making that deck. So that was kind of an important thing to me, and that's how I pick. Oracle decks, so tarot decks all have 22 major arcana cards, 0 to 21. They all have swords, wands, cups, and pentacles. Oracle decks, all bets are off. It can have anything, and it's usually thematically driven. So there's one upside down. So, and that comes to my next question. So Oracle decks, again, I'm choosing based on my own love of the imagery and the beautiful messages. And I've had plenty of decks when I've used them and I've been like, nah, I don't care anymore. And I just give them away or whatever, that I'm not really into it. That was the last thing I want to talk to you about. That is reversals, because some of you notice that I don't use reversals very much. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. It's not a big thing for me because every card has its own positive and negative meanings, has its own duality. Every single card, the sun, whether it's like the super duper happy cards or the cards that are like 10 of Swords and things like that, they all have a positive and a negative connotation. The way I read, it's the context of the reading that determines whether this card is shining positively or negatively. You've all had those spreads or you've seen those readings where we lay out a spread and it's like, looks a little bit sketchy here. But some of the cards are like really sparkly and happy. And you're like, well, how does that work? Sometimes it can mean that you're not really seeing the situation clearly. Sometimes it can mean that being optimistic is the way of navigating this. What matters is not so much are you using inversions or reversals, but context of the spread, taking into account the question you asked, which is the most important part of the reading, the question you ask, and then how am I seeing this spread as a totality? Does it seem happy? Does it seem scary? Does it seem fast moving? Does it seem slow and plodding? Does it seem fantasy driven? Does it seem 3D reality? What sense are you getting from it? That matters. Okay? So I hope this was helpful to you. I hope everybody on my team in the comments was answering your questions as we were going. I wanted to get some of these topics across to you because those are the most frequently asked questions I've been getting. And I'm inviting you tonight, if you'd like to take my tarot class. I am putting a link in the description box. If you want to learn tarot from me, there's some new information in my tarot class. I am giving you opportunities to ask more questions, and I will be adding more content based on your questions to try and give you much more clarity as you learn how to do this, as you learn and move toward mastery. Later this year, we are going to be offering a tarot certification. So take the tarot class if you want to right now. Later this year, we're going to be doing a tarot certification so you can up your mastery game. And we are going to be making an announcement later this year. If you want to read as part of a Soulful Revolution kind of community, I'm going to be offering that to you. So that's a way you can earn money without having to make all the audience, which is the hard part, which is what we've done, which is building the audience of this channel. People that come here want tarot readings and want to be, given some clarity. People come here for clarity. And so that's my tarot certification program. I'm going to help you get really clear in your own readings. And also, if you want to do them online and you want to be part of our community that's going to be doing readings, I welcome you in on the tarot certification. So first step, take the tarot class. All right. Link is in the description box if you want to do that. Thank you for being here. I hope this was really helpful to you. I'm going to continue to answer your questions in the chat. I'll continue to answer your questions as always. I'll just keep on going. So thanks for being here. Much love. I hope this was helpful to you. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.